March 3rd, Sunday of the third week of Lent. John 2:13 to 25. Today's Gospel gets our attention immediately. Jesus has just arrived in Jerusalem for the feast of Passover. He immediately goes to the temple. When he arrived at the temple, the situation he found there infuriated him. Yes, there were many people in the temple. However, most of them were not there to pray. There were an astounding number of money changers and also people selling animals for sacrifice. Much of the purpose of the temple as a holy sanctuary had been lost in Jesus' time. The temple was built and dedicated to be a place for prayer and worship. It was not built to be a marketplace. Jesus was infuriated, yet he also was saddened that the people would desecrate such a holy, beautiful, and sacred place. The temple in Jerusalem had become the center not just of official worship, but of a thriving commerce, which Jesus wanted to address. It was the poor who were being exploited through the sale of sacrificial doves, which they had to buy in order to be good worshippers. The temple was the place of civil and religious power, so for Jesus to react so strongly was not a coincidence. Jesus targeted corruption at the very heart of society, as the temple was at the very heart of Jewish life. Jesus cleansed the temple because the corruption and sinful activities going on there were all distracting from proper worship taking place. Thus, the reading today during Lent also prompts us to cleanse the temple of our own hearts and souls in order to improve proper worship to God. Today may be a day to ask ourselves, what and where are our sacred places? What are the places that are sacred to us? It might be a church, a forest, the mountains, the ocean, or simply a swing in our backyard or special chair in our house. We all need sacred places in our lives. These sacred places enable us to experience and open ourselves to God's presence in the beauty, the silence, the peace. Be that in nature, the quiet space in your house, or a church. Sacred places and spaces help to ground us in God, and thus we may experience God's presence in that place more intensely and more tangibly. A sacred place as well as a sacred activity, such as simply sitting quietly in a chair, also may help us open ourselves more deeply to God's presence, word, and grace. Dear friends, today I invite you to deliberately sit quietly with God for 5 to 10 minutes or even half an hour. We may receive many gifts and deep peace as we quietly and peacefully simply sit with God. God longs for us and God is waiting for us. Wishing you a holy Sunday, Father Paul, CSSR from Kerala.